Hi, thank you for the introduction. I would like to also thank you, the organizers, for putting such a great event and fantastic after party. So you can see that I'm gonna hold a glass of water for maybe quite a bit. So bear with me. Anyway, my presentation is not gonna be too structured. So we're gonna be jumping back and forth. The reason is because, you know, we're in blockchain industry and we need to keep up with trends. So a lot of my friends who are doing some sort of like fintech or custody with blockchain, they're always saying, wow, a month ago I didn't know about this feature, I didn't know nothing about custody, for example. 2 months later, it's our pivot, and that's how we're running the product actually. So I'm gonna start. And tell you a bit about the ICOs, IEOs, and all of that type of things. So in order for you to understand that, you know, I know what I'm talking about, here's a small slide about the company that I'm representing, COINTRAFFIC. So that was probably the first crypto advertising network out there, and you know, we're quite and are still very successful, I must say. And so we've seen quite a few projects, wins and fails, and all the waves and everything. Myself, I worked in consulting a bit, worked for Google, so I know, and my specialty was fintech, forex, and some gaming industry. So I worked with their top advertisers, who then, incidentally, also decided to move into crypto. So I know what's going on there. So let's start. So I would like to start with telling you not about the ICOs or IOs or anything, but to tell you what marketing is all about. So marketing is usually about two things. It's either raising money or how to make money from money, right? So you invest a bit of your cash, you generate clients, and yeah, that's what you usually do. So in essence, all companies that are working with blockchain, they first want to raise money. It can be either through ICO or IEO or traditional, right? And after they do, they need to spend their money, right? As said before. So how was it done previously? A bit of a story time. You could put any ICO name, more or less here, or even a well-known trading company that decided to move into crypto space. Yeah? Oh, everyone saw probably 20K, Bitcoin calling, all these charts, and a lot of people in the boardrooms who actually didn't really know a lot about blockchain, they saw this, they saw the news and said, we know what we need to do, right? We already have an established business, we have money, or we can make money. So one of the case studies that I've seen personally, well, there are a few, but one of them I'm gonna mention. So a successful company that was dealing in Forex, they saw the crypto boom, and so they decided, yes, we need more traffic sources to release a few products and get into the crypto space, right? So that's what we're gonna do. They come up with a usually very nice plan. Most of the times, it's 5 steps. So all 80% of the ICOs that I spoke with, they said, first, we're gonna add crypto, something to do with crypto, be that a payment to our existing project or just the word crypto, blockchain. Then we're gonna create a wallet. Then we're gonna release a token if we need funding. Of course, we're gonna raise a lot of money, right? And why? Now we need an exchange, right? Then we're gonna get other projects on, and you know, we need to get an exchange, right? Makes sense. And because we're gonna be so successful, we're gonna create a crypto fund, right? And make money out of that. Well, I mean, some other companies are already doing that, or were doing it at the time. So it's a solid plan, and they, you know, already had some marketing teams, or they didn't, or knew somebody who knew, but whenever they would discuss marketing, they would say, yeah, this is our plan, we're gonna grow, very nice. All of our marketeers know a lot of jargon, and this is probably the only one that I'm gonna use, and you need to memorize. It's CPM, CPC, CPE, and ROAS. Anyone know what they stand for? No? Yes? No? Okay, so CPM is probably the oldest one, where you pay per impressions. Let's say if it's banner, CPC, when you pay for clicks. CPA, where you pay for some action or leads, for example. You say, I'm going to pay for registration, I don't know, 20 bucks. I don't care how much the click costs. And the most advanced that Google and Facebook love to pitch is ROAS, which stands for return on advertising spend. So how much money do I get per every dollar invested, right? Of course, everyone already knows a lot. They read a lot about articles. That's how our marketing effort and fundraising going to look like. Yeah? Good. And then they get the results, and they sit in the meeting room, and they say, OK, what is going on here? Right? So the traffic is overpriced. We do get new users, but there is no trading activity. If they already have a token or nobody's buying, and marketeers sit like this and say, OK, tomorrow we have a presentation. We need to prepare and show it to the board. Yeah? And this is what they show. That's our return on marketing investment. So very nice, and this usually happened due to hodlers. So everyone who wanted to run an exchange or had, let's say, some sort of a forex business, decided to move into crypto, they've realized that they didn't know anything about crypto users' behaviors. So, takeaway. Actually, all my takeaways are going to be on the white slide, so it's very nice to take pictures, and all the dark, bad stories are going to be on have a black background. So there are no quick wins at the moment, right? Again, the circles here have arrows, so it means you cannot jump stages, right? So you cannot get instant return on your advertising spend. You have to go through stages, be that raising money or getting new users. It doesn't matter. Yeah? Takeaway slides. So what we can learn from the story that I've told you and some other stories, one of the common mistakes or issues that projects face is getting the right team, right? So people just, well, in the past they would just hire somebody, and that somebody could be, I don't know, a friend of their grandma's nephew or something, I don't know, who just heard about crypto, and he's of course an IT guy. He posts 3 times on Facebook, and he knows what to do. Yes, there were projects that raised money with the strategy, but usually it doesn't work like that. Dwelling in the past. What I mean here is when you look at, sorry? Okay, I thought that was a comment. And anyway, so people think that they can look at previous ICOs, copy what they did during hype, and get the same result. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way, right? So, or they compare display advertising to Facebook, right? And as we know, Facebook is not very crypto-friendly at the moment. I will touch on that later. Incorrect budget allocation, so unrealistic expectations. Yes, we personally ran a few campaigns for ICOs where people deposited $500,000 online, like that. Banner click, surf the website a bit, go away. In 2 days, the person came back, $500,000, boom, transaction. Doesn't work anymore. And you need to really plan your budget, understand where it goes, and we're going to touch on that a bit later. And this is one of my favorite quotes. I think it's probably the most important takeaway. So our product will sell itself. Everyone is going to want it. So the whole reason for marketing, be that in blockchain or somewhere else, is to help you sell your product, right? If you think this way, then you don't need marketing at all, right? So if you think that your product sells, then yeah, don't even think about marketing, but probably you're not going to get far because no one's going to search for you because nobody knows about you at all. Part-time effort is enough. So you cannot be, if you're in marketing or just trying to create a disruptive project in blockchain, you have to really roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty and work every day. So going to work, coming back, sitting with your kids, and then dedicating 10 minutes of your time into marketing, it's never going to work for you. Again, now misbeliefs that I myself, as a marketeer, hear all the time, and that signal, they drive a certain message. So whenever I hear, again, the same quote, I really like it, it's very nice, so the product is going to sell itself, I usually say, sure, how are people going to know about your product? You're disrupting the industry, right? You're doing something new. How are they going to know? And the answer is usually, yeah, they're going to search for, search our brand name on Google. Yeah, but how would they know your brand name? Yeah, and I only hear, That's the common answer. Part-time effort, we've discussed that. And of course, my all-time favorite, we're different. It's going to work for us. So, 95% of people failed, but we're going to do it. We're going to take on DHL with 4 people and in our marketing department and outperform them. Doesn't work. So again, this slide, ICOs, IOs, traditional. So they all want to raise money, but what is the difference? So in ICO, you first try to raise money and then get listed on an exchange, right? So you more or less have to generate the whole user base yourself. And the core advantage of an IO is that you get listed, right, on the exchange, and you get access to the user base of that exchange. So your marketing ideally should require less effort, but that's not true. But probably a bit less budget. And traditionally, it's traditional. We're not going to touch on that. So getting there. I love the funnel for every marketeer here. It might look a bit weird because usually marketing funnels are more complex and lose slightly different terms. But for to explain terms like simple, I've put 3 layers into this funnel. So number 1 is awareness. So people need to know about you before they can actually have an intent to purchase or to give you money, right? So as an example, as a previous example, when somebody says, oh, our product is going to sell itself, right? So everyone's going to want it. They first need to find out about you, and that is the awareness part. The intent part here is when people already know about your product, and let's say they're searching on Google for your brand name or product or service. And then re-engagement. What does re-engagement mean? It means that very seldom people would give out money on like the first touch. So you need to do some remarketing, like retarget your audience, I don't know, have some chatbots, qualify, score your leads, everything. Bottom of the funnel, we call it re-engagement just for these. So this is also a slide from the past that a lot of companies really liked. And a lot of marketeers have used those channels, and they thought, yeah, we're going to come into crypto space. We already know the stats. We already know all the platforms, Yahoo, Bing, Google, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever, name it, Facebook especially. Everyone was trying to game Facebook's attribution to attribute success to their efforts, which is quite interesting, right? So they would start, and they would map up the funnel, just again, simple example. So YouTube, you play a video saying, oh, did you know about this cool new product? Then on Google, you buy some display ads to drive the awareness, the top of the funnel. Then let's say Google search, works fantastic. Spend money on ads, Google AdWords. So that would be something like buying keywords, right? And then re-engagement would mostly be retargeting through Google, and of course, massively through Facebook. There you could have some community building. Yeah, fantastic. Great plan, great plan. It's very nice. And it's gone, right? If you remember, Google banned Facebook. Google banned crypto from their offering. I was actually at the time still at Google. It was quite interesting, the reactions and things like that. And then, actually, first it was Facebook, and then it was Google, and that raised quite a few eyebrows. And then people were thinking, okay, what can we do? What tools do we have? We need to revisit our planning, and those were the trends, and I think those are the current trends. that we have now. So after this massive change, we could see a shift in terms of ROMI, which stands for Return on Marketing Investment. So I believe that when you raise funds at the moment for, be that ICO, IEO, or whatever, your offline activities, so how good you are in like fundraising, networking, and going to exhibitions, doing all this, let's say, offline things, it's going to probably yield 80% of your overall result, even monetary. So I think quite a bit of money is raised offline now in pre-sales and private sales versus online sales. So before that, you could just raise money online. So whenever you see actually an IEO happening and closing in a minute on an exchange, please be mindful that people put a lot of effort behind the scenes to make that happen. So it didn't happen overnight like this. There's like a whole iceberg underneath this tip. Budget allocation is actually the contrary. So I believe that probably you need to allocate 20% of your budget on offline activities, depending how much you have, and allocate about 80% of the budget to online channels. It's because we sell digital advertising and we really need your money. No? It's not a good joke? Doesn't work in Estonia? Okay. The reason is that people actually, whenever you're going to talk in private rooms, right, about funding, they're going to search and Google your project. They want to see ads. They want to see social proof. They want to see some press about you, and press costs money. And usually press is online, so this part of the funnel is going to be covered by online marketing, and that's where probably 80% of your budget should be. Again, IEO requires effort. Don't be fooled. Nothing gets sold in 1 second. It doesn't work that way. There's a lot of work to be done. And then finding your audience is crucial. If we have some time left, I can show you like one case study. I don't know, this is like a 0000 time for me. I don't know. I still have time. Yeah, that's very important. So, and that's very expensive. I just pulled like the deck that we had with our banner offering. So I'm not trying to sell you anything. I even left my sales team in the office. But anyway, I wanted to show you that banner ads for you guys who are marketeers are very expensive. So, building the top of the funnel is extremely expensive. Compared to, for example, lower funnel, which is Facebook, where you could say, oh, on Facebook, I could buy a click on retargeting for 20 cents. Yeah, very nice. But if nobody knows and had no touch points with your website, it's not going to work. First, you generate the top of the funnel, and that's the most expensive bit because you throw a very wide net. And then you actually pay less on search or Facebook, depending on your strategy. So these are like the sample prices. Yeah, doesn't matter, but it is expensive and native. Native ads are also expensive. I just wanted to make a comparison to, for example, Taboola or Outbrain, where you can pay 20 cents per click, roughly, for like traditional advertising that you could see on Forbes, for example. While in crypto, you can also find CPC deals, but they're going to be like very, very high compared to standard industries. So yeah, that's me. I don't know. Oh, yeah, there's some time. But I'd like to leave time for questions. If there be no questions, or then I can show you like a small case study from an Estonian company. So, any questions so far? Some provocative, maybe? No? Okay, it's a very weird silence because I know that you guys can speak. We spoke to quite a few people yesterday night in the bar, so discussed quite a few topics. Anyone want to share? No? Yes? No? Yes, there's a question there. Can we have the microphone, please? Yes, gentleman in the third row. Third row, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the presentation. I have a question. Like, we did an ICO, it was great, but what about like the re-engagement after? Like, you have a lot of users, you have clients signing up, but how do you engage after? Like, do you have any tips?
Yeah, so you figure out the first part. I think that was, my presentation was about probably getting the money first. Again, you have to spend time mapping out your user journey, customer experience, and usually I would say the problem is that you're probably not working with the whole of the funnel. So you already have a certain highly invested audience. And I mean, because they're your advocates and they've already invested, so they're, they know about you. But you need to expand your reach. So you need to work with the top of the funnel. Again, awareness, so you have to start all that over. I think probably the best channels to do that would be at the moment, so you're not doing ICO, so you already have that covered, so you have an existing product, so you can use Facebook. For sure, be that in a very nice and white hat manner, right? Of course, or you can use some black hat techniques there, but I'm not gonna tell you about them from the stage. Again, depending on your budget, I would say if you can collect first-party cookies, you could whack them into RTB, display advertising. Yeah, and do some similar audiences on display and Facebook. Of course, Google, all the standard channels. But I would say the best channel is to actually ask your current customers or users, say, what is your product feedback? Would you recommend us? They recommend you, you get some insights, and they're going to actually tell you how to get their friends on board. So that's probably the best tip I have.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Cool. Well,
thanks. Great presentation, Slava. Question about bots. How do you tackle the bot situation at the moment? So me as a buyer, buying traffic, and I know there's a lot of bots that come in through that traffic. How do you comprehend with that?
So if you're talking about our network, we have a fraud department. So every day guys are monitoring the spikes in, say, CTRs or the countries that the traffic is coming from. For example, if you have a publisher that normally has, I don't know, 20% of their traffic coming from US, and then suddenly they have 80% coming from US, and traffic doesn't grow overnight, that gets flagged. We block the website. So this is how we do it. Say big companies like DoubleClick or some other RTB providers, they usually also have a fraud department, but they have automated systems that actually catch also click fraud. We also do that, but on a smaller scale because we're very niche. Yeah, some algorithms, and of course we're sharing. So there's a technology basically that helps you understand, just analyze the traffic, and yeah. Hard to explain. I'm not the CTO, so usually it's manual work, looking at the dashboards that have algorithms saying, yeah, it's highly likely it's a bot. And of course, we refund the spend if that happened, for our clients. But unfortunately, there is no foolproof mechanism. Neither we or Google or Facebook, nobody has it. So. I think the biggest issue for us is that our clients don't really like sharing their analytics data with us. So we can only see what we are giving them, right, during the click, but we very seldom know what they have. So if you would compare us to, for example, Google, they also get your analytics data through the DoubleClick cookie, and they can actually catch fraud a bit easier. It's a bit easier for them. But to be honest, I don't think we had a lot of fraud cases because we're still quite small and small in terms of the crypto. So crypto and blockchain is not as big of a pie, and it's not as interesting for hackers as let's say, stealing money from crypto wallets. So crypto traffic is still a bit small.